I would like you to address the role of Muslims in Europe, because, just to quote something which I may be misreading, but something you wrote not so long ago, Europe's half-century-long holiday from reality is over, you said. Europe has unsustainable demographic issues which, if unaddressed, will eradicate the continent as we know it in 3 or 4 generations. Yeah. Were you there partly pointing to the demographics which suggest the Muslim population of Europe is on the rise?
Yes, absolutely.
You see that as a fundamental danger to everything Europe stands for?
I think it's a danger when it happens too fast, which is happening, I think, at the moment, and a lot of people agree with this. I think of a country I spend a lot of time in, like Holland, for instance, where there are government statistics that suggest within just over a decade the majority of people in Holland will be, as it were, non-Dutch. Now, you can say that there's something funny about pointing this out.
They won't be non-Dutch, will they? Because they will be Dutch citizens, and they will be the children of Dutch citizens, and they will be as Dutch as any other Dutchman.
You want to bet? Just go to Amsterdam or go to one of these cities and say, do you think that when you go into the mosque and you talk about issues which matter a lot to me, like gay rights, like women's rights, and all these things, do you think you will get as much of a hearing there, or do you think you will find it harder to? My suggestion but the reason why I cite Holland is because in my opinion, very hard fought for rights, very hard fought for liberal rights, like equalities, like basic equalities, like gay rights, are under threat, are undoubtedly under threat when you have too fast a population rising in that country that has not had time and will not, under the current demographic figures, have time to adapt to the Dutch way of life. Will Holland look more Dutch in the way we know it in 20 years' time, or will it look more Islamified? I think I know the answer.
In a nutshell, you're saying Europe has too many Muslims.
Well, I think at the moment that Muslims are not integrating fast enough into Europe.
Europe has too many Muslims.
I don't think that they are.
Well, look, feel free to say it.
Look, it wouldn't matter if there were too many Muslims here, if they integrated. But very many of the figures we see show that they are not. In Britain, polls have showed, there was one just last year from Policy Exchange, that showed that 40% of Muslims in Britain, for instance, wanted some elements of Sharia to be incorporated into British law. I think you find yourself in a very difficult position, if I may finish, you find yourself in a very difficult position when a swathe of whatever religion or whatever race, and after all this is actually about ideology, we are talking about an ideology in Islam, when people, when a substantial enough percentage of your population honestly believe that they should be ruled by a different rule of law from other people, that is a problem. It is going to be a bigger problem, it is going to be a growing problem.